Christmas is just around the corner, and for some, a festive meal wouldn't be complete without fine wine.
But with so many types of wine you can choose from, what wine really goes best and with which kind of food? Well, today we've got Ian Lim, a sommelier, to dish out some of the tips on picking that perfect wine. Ian, a bit early in the morning, maybe for some wine, but I guess it is the festive season, so why not? We can start a little bit early. Tell us what you brought in and why you've brought in some of these for this festive season.
Okay, well, for festivities, understanding and appreciating wine is all about discovery. So it's always good to try something new. So
where should we start? This is something new. It's a Japanese bottle of...
Yes, this is a wine from Grace Winery from Katsunuma. It's made from Oriental grape varietal called Koshu. So it's, the 2012 vintage actually got a Decanter Gold Medal quite recently, tasted by all the French sommeliers, all the top wine judges recently. And it's probably, I would say, Japan's iconic wine right now.
Is it a white wine?
Yes, it is.
Is it a sweet
It's a dry style white wine. And the beauty about such wines is that it's made to suit, to pair with the cuisine of Japan. So with like the sushi and sashimi, the greedy koshu is fantastic with it.
How would you describe the whole flavor? Thick, thin, light?
It's very light, a bit more aromatic style. Has a very nice minerality about it. And it's very balanced, very soft, very silky.
Okay, maybe you can pour a little bit out and take a whiff of it and tell us what would this go best with? What kind of Christmas food? Because we're not having Japanese.
Sashimi.
So, well, but that's not really Christmas fare, you know. But what would it go best with?
But generally, if it's something light like this, how would you
it can go well with like smoked salmon, seafood dishes.
That's right.
Prawn cocktail is still okay with it, you know.
So, it's pretty aromatic as well.
Yeah.
Very fruity.
Yeah, it's very, on the nose you get a bit more like a bit of peaches, a bit of nectarines, stone fruits, green apples.
I have a question to ask you about that too. You see a lot of wine enthusiasts, taking in the aroma first before they actually tickle the taste buds. Does that enhance the flavor of the wine?
Yes, the aromas and what you smell is actually the first impression of the wine and actually enhances your taste. So if you pay a bit more attention on what you smell, it actually kind of enhances the taste as well. That's how you appreciate wine. You gotta put a bit more attention to what you drink.
I guess it's like looking at good food, you know. It looks nice first, you see it with your eyes and you think, okay, that's good. Then you sniff it and you're like, So I guess wine's a little bit like that as well.
Very much.
Well, you brought in some other bottles. Tell us what, this is something maybe for the fish type dishes, but there's a lot of turkey and ham during Christmas. What would go with that?
For turkey and ham, personally, I'll drink a lot more Pinot Noirs with that. So this is one of the Pinot Noirs I'll suggest. It's a Pinot Noir from Gladstone, New Zealand, called Erlar. And what's so special about it is that it actually practices biodynamic and organics principles in winemaking. So biodynamic sounds a bit complicated, but basically what it is organic with feng shui elements to it.
Say again?
Feng shui.
Organic with feng shui elements?
Very
so
much,
this winery uses organic
farming with feng shui elements. So, for example, like they will work with how far is the moon, the lunar calendar.
Wow. Is this owned by Asians?
No, it's actually by a Scotsman.
Okay.
Okay.
But I guess it helps. It must taste exceptional for you to choose this as one of the festive.
Very much it's a very pure expression of Pinot Noir. It has a slightly more oval feel to it, so it's slightly more savory. Very nice stewed mocha notes to it. Why this goes well with turkey in particular, because if the cranberry sauce can be other red fruit flavors, it has bright cherry flavors to it, so it complements it very well.
Okay. What about the others that you brought in? This one looks interesting, a nice rose colored.
It's Ix Rosé from Aix-en-Provence, from south of France. It's a very nice dry style rosé. And why I brought that, because I personally drink a lot of it for parties, for Christmas party with this, without rosé.
What does it go well with?
It's a rosé that's very easy to suit everything. So you can have it with white meat or even like with pork. Turkey actually can go quite well. It's kind of like a drink all day.
I see.
Well, the other drink that I think I can drink all day and at any time is something bubbly and sparkly, you know, like champagne. So that, of course, would you say that can go with anything?
Yeah, of course. Why not? But champagne, in particular, this one over here we focus on is Champagne Gosset. It's actually the oldest wine house in Champagne. And
this one?
Yes, Champagne Gosset. And what makes it different is that it has about 3 to 5 years of extra aging, so the champagne is a bit more richer. slightly more sophisticated and more complex. Yeah.
Okay, this is the champagne we're talking about.
Yeah.
And the other two that we've yet to talk about are these...
the red and white.
Yeah, how are they?
Okay, so the one with the red cap over here is Barone Ricasoli. He's actually the founder and the creator of Chianti Classico. And I brought that in for something, if you have a dish that's more savory, a bit more gamey, like duck, beef, lamb, that goes very well with it.
I want to ask you also, because very often there are so many different wineries out there, so many different labels, it's hard to tell what's good, what's bad. And sometimes I do this, I judge a bottle by its cover, by the pic, the design. I figure if he's got good taste.
I usually look at the date.
The date.
Well, the date doesn't always, because there are good years, there are bad years. It could be old, but it may be a bad year.
I just go for the oldest one.
So is there a trick you can give for people who are out there who really, you're not too well versed, but you want to pick a fairly decent, what are some of the things you should look out for in a label?
On a label? If you like the look of it, just take it. No, but understanding wines and getting to be a wine expert or getting to know wines better, it's all about discovery and trying new things. If you want to look at the label and pick a wine for the label itself, it's relatively difficult. But but if you know a style of wines that you like, say for example, I drink a lot of Shiraz, I like the big, spicy, peppery style wines, go for a Shiraz, try from wines from different regions to discover Shiraz, because one type of wine, you can have many different styles as well.
Right. Yeah. Well, usually what we do is when we go to restaurants, we just ask for recommendations, and then they'll bring out 3-4 bottles and let you
someone like yourself,
it.
if they're available, can give advice on that.
They'll let you smell it and then taste it as well. But when it comes to smell, can you smell when something is not good or when something is bad?
So wines that are off, there's very two common things. One is when it's oxidized. So basically, if the wine is cooked when it's too hot, it becomes vinegar, so it's very, very vinegary smell to it. So that's one part. The other thing is when the wine is corked. Corked is caused by a bacteria on the cork called TCA, which actually imparts a very wet cardboard smell, and it doesn't really enhance the wine. It actually kind of makes the wine seem very flat.
Right.
Yeah. So it's impossible for a wine in a screw cap to be corked, for example.
Right.
So can that wine go bad?
It can oxidize, yes. It can cook,
So once it's oxidized, because during parties, year-end parties, you open so many bottles and then you don't finish them up. Once it's oxidized, would you recommend reusing it for cooking?
Yeah, for red wine, you make a coq au vin or something like that. Yeah.
And with the cork itself also, some of them now use synthetic corks as well. Is there a preference? Do you have a...
the more expensive corks are in more premium bottles, like the Bordeaux and the Burgundies. They got the nice natural corks. They're really, really expensive. For usually the bigger, more commercial ones, they do the synthetic cork as well, because it's a bit more consistent. It's wines that you don't meant to age that long, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay, well, I guess so. That's a variety of stuff. And is it a crime if you drink some of your wines with ice?
I will not have a problem, but the winemakers probably would.
They would. They don't understand our culture, but we drink beer with ice, right? So
what would you say the top 3 things you should abide by if you want to fully appreciate a glass of wine, good wine?
Okay, first things always, 3 good things. Always be keen into trying something new. Don't always drink the same thing because it's boring. Just understand the wine and pay a bit more attention to the aromas and flavors in the wine, and read a bit about it. It helps, and it helps you actually open your window to the world of wines.
That's true.
And it is a personal choice. I think don't be fooled into thinking that, if someone says this is really good and you try it and you don't like it, then, there's no reason for you to have to drink it. So I think it's very much a personal thing. All right, Ian, thanks so much. Ian, sommelier with the Straits Wine Company, on how you can pick some of the right wines for your festive foods this holiday season.